Namaskar, welcome to PK's classes. Today we are going to study about the antioxidants. Please refer to our earlier class on reactive oxygen species. So, just to recall, the reactive oxygen species can be of two types, the radicals and the non-radicals. So the radicals, we call them as free radicals. So you can see superoxide, hydroxyl, peroxyl, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, lipid peroxyl. All these are the free radicals. And H2O2, HOCl, hypochlorous acid, peroxynitrite, nitrous acid, dinitrogen trioxide, lipid peroxide, ozone, singlet oxygen, all these are non-radicals. These free radicals have a lone pair of electron on their outermost orbit, so they are called as the free radicals. And these non-radicals also called as reactive oxygen species because they can also generate the free radicals. So oxygen in presence of electron is converted to superoxide. Superoxide then in presence of electron is converted to hydrogen peroxide. Then hydrogen peroxide in presence of electron can generate hydroxyl radical. So during the conversion of oxygen to water, there can be byproducts, and those byproducts are these reactive oxygen species. Similarly, in addition to electron transfer reactions, energy transfer reactions can also produce reactive oxygen species like singlet oxygen, and all these things we have discussed in detail in our other class on reactive oxygen species. So you can see from molecular oxygen to water how these byproducts are produced. Now there can be different ways in which these electron transfer reactions occur. One is electron transport chain that we have already discussed, then respiratory burst or oxidative burst, then lipid peroxidation. So these reactive oxygen species then cause lipid peroxidation and site-specific oxidative damage in proteins and also nucleic acid damage, and that can cause injury to the cell membrane and other cell components, and can lead to different pathological conditions in almost all the organs. So the antioxidants, we can classify them as the endogenous antioxidants present in our body and the exogenous. Among the endogenous, we have superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione peroxidase, and glutathione reductase. As we have already studied that oxygen in presence of electron generates superoxide, and superoxide in presence of hydrogen and the enzyme superoxide dismutase is converted to hydrogen peroxide and oxygen. And this hydrogen peroxide can lead to production of water in presence of catalase and also in presence of glutathione peroxidase. So glutathione peroxidase converts this glutathione, and in return glutathione reductase can regenerate this glutathione. This is glutathione which can be regenerated by glutathione reductase. So these enzymes, superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione peroxidase, glutathione reductase, we can classify them as the antioxidant enzymes present in our body. So the non-enzymes will be glutathione, cysteine, thioredoxin, ferritin, ceruloplasmin. All these non-enzymes can also act as endogenous antioxidants. Among the exogenous, we can have dietary vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, lycopene, minerals or trace elements like selenium, zinc, manganese, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids obtained from fish oil like eicosapentaenoic acid, docosahexaenoic acid, alpha-linoleic acid. Phytochemicals which act as antioxidants include polyphenols, bioflavonoids, anthocyanins, proanthocyanidin, catechin. So these are all about your antioxidants and which radicals can be neutralized by which antioxidants. Superoxide can be neutralized by superoxide dismutase and vitamin C. Hydroxyl radical can be neutralized by glutathione and vitamin C. Hydroperoxyl can be neutralized by glutathione, vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin A, and ubiquinol. Alkoxyl radical can be neutralized by vitamin C. Peroxyl can be neutralized by vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin A, glutathione, ubiquinol. Similarly, the non-radicals H2O2 can be neutralized by vitamin C, glutathione, catalase. Singlet oxygen can be neutralized by vitamin C, vitamin A. So what happens? These antioxidants actually provide one electron from its outermost orbit to the free radical so that will be paired, and in return the antioxidant is converted to a less reactive oxygen species. And you can see the example of vitamin E. Vitamin E neutralizes the free radical we have just discussed, this one. Peroxyl during the lipid peroxidation, you can see during the lipid peroxidation, so the lipid in presence of the hydroxyl radical is converted to alkyl radical, then in presence of oxygen it is converted to peroxyl radical, and this peroxyl radical can be neutralized by vitamin E. Then you can see how this occurs. So you can see the structure of vitamin E in presence of the lipoxyl radical. The vitamin E itself is converted to a radical which is less reactive. You can see here is converted to a less reactive radical and a non-radical product. So this lipoxyl radical is converted to a non-radical product, and the vitamin E itself becomes a radical which is less reactive, and this less reactive radical can be neutralized by vitamin C, and again vitamin C in return will be converted to vitamin C, we know is ascorbic acid, will be converted to a less reactive radical, ascorbyl radical, and that can be neutralized by glutathione. So this is the endogenous mechanism. Glutathione ultimately plays a role and is converted to glutathione disulfide. So you can see that lipid initially is converted to the alkyl radical, then in presence of oxygen is converted to peroxyl radical. Here the role of vitamin E comes. Vitamin E, which is alpha tocopherol, is converted to a less reactive radical, and that less reactive radical again can be neutralized. That means again can be converted to vitamin E by vitamin C, and in return vitamin C also is converted to a less reactive radical, ascorbyl radical, and that ascorbyl radical can be again returned back to vitamin C in presence of glutathione. So glutathione will be converted to glutathione disulfide, and in this way they act as antioxidants. So to summarize, vitamin E provides one electron to the lipoxyl radical and makes it a non-radical product. In return, vitamin E becomes a less reactive radical, and that can be recovered, that vitamin E can be recovered by vitamin C. In return, vitamin C becomes a less reactive radical, ascorbyl radical, and vitamin C can be recovered by glutathione, which is the endogenous antioxidant. So in this way they act. So you can see vitamin C, how it acts as antioxidant. Vitamin C is ascorbic acid in presence of hydroxy radical. Hydroxy radical is neutralized by vitamin C. So in return it will be converted to a less reactive radical, which is ascorbyl radical. This ascorbyl radical is again converted to ascorbic acid by glutathione. Glutathione in presence of dehydroascorbate reductase is converted to glutathione disulfide. And ascorbyl radical can also be converted to ascorbic acid in presence of NADH, semi-dehydroascorbate reductase in presence of NADH. So these are the two mechanisms by which ascorbic acid can be regenerated after acting as an antioxidant. So vitamin C can act simultaneously with vitamin E, and vitamin C itself can also act as antioxidant for hydroxy radicals. So this is all about the antioxidants. Thank you.